System vulnerability. In this video, we are going to see about system vulnerability. Vulnerability is a cybersecurity term that refers to a flaw in a system that can leave it open to attack. A vulnerability may also refer to any type of weakness in a computer system itself, in a set of procedures, or in anything that leaves information security exposed to a threat. To make use of a vulnerability, an attacker must have at least one applicable tool or technique that can connect to a system's weakness. Vulnerability management is the process of identifying, classifying, remediating, and mitigating vulnerabilities. Computer users and network personnel can protect computer systems from vulnerabilities by keeping software security patches up to date. These patches can remedy flaws or security holes that were found in the initial release. Computer and network personnel should also stay informed about current vulnerabilities in the software they use and seek out ways to protect against them. Computer frauds. In this video, we are going to see about computer frauds. In many ways, computer frauds resemble conventional frauds. The various computer frauds can be classified into 4 categories. Computer as a target of crime. For example, computer can be stolen or destroyed, or a virus may destroy the data. Computer as a medium of crime by creating such an environment in which fraud can take place. For example, entering false data in a computer system to mislead the potential investors regarding the financial position of the company. Computer as a tool for crime. For example, computer can be used to plan a crime, although the crime does not involve a computer. Computer may be used to deceive others. For example, a stockbroker may convince his clients that user has a computer program with the use of which he could increase their return on investment by 40% per month. Advent of computers has given rise to several frauds which were not possible earlier in the past. The common computer frauds and the measures that can be taken to prevent them have been explained below. Theft of money, theft of data, theft and destruction of hardware, illegal copying of software, destruction of data and software, theft of mainframe computer time, theft of money. Infrastructure of information technology can be used to steal money from the organization. For example, a bank employee may transfer amounts from inoperative accounts of various customers to an account opened in a fictitious name. These amounts are too small to raise any alarm, but over a period of time, the employee accumulates substantial amount. To prevent such crimes, procedures must be developed to detect discrepancies in transactions and files. Financial records should be audited at regular intervals. Every effort should be made to hire only trustworthy employees. Performance of software should be independently checked to ensure its performance. Moreover, programmer who develops the program should not be the same person who tests the program to ensure illegal modification of programs. Theft of data. Like any other financial asset, data is a valuable resource of an organization. Computer systems store data regarding the organization operations, which is often of interest to competitors. To prevent the improper use of data, data security measures should be taken. One of such measures is the use of passwords to access the computer system. Retrieval or change of data should be allowed by the system to the authorized users only. Another security measure is to encrypt the data to an unintelligible form. Encryption ensures that the hacker will not be able to understand the encrypted data even if user has been able to illegally gain access to the system. Data encryption also ensures secrecy of data transmitted over communication channels. A hacker may intercept the data for illegal purposes by tapping the communication channels, but would not be able to interpret the encrypted data. Theft of data can also take place by stealing the data stored on removable storage media such as floppy disks. To prevent such fraud, policy should be made that removable storage media may not be taken out from the organization's premises and that such media must be kept under lock and key while not in use. Moreover, data stored on removable media can be encrypted to ensure that only the persons with the key may be able to view the data. Theft and destruction of hardware. Hardware can be physically stolen or damaged. With the downsizing of computers, it has become relatively easy to steal the computer itself. To prevent the theft or destruction of hardware, measures such as keeping the equipment in locked rooms, allowing access only to authorized persons in the computer room, placing of fire extinguishers to protect the hardware in case of fire, etc. should be taken. To prevent the theft of personal computers, a security cable may be installed which is often attached to a disk. Illegal copying of software. Just as books, most software is copyrighted. It is illegal to make a copy of the software without the permission of the owner of the copyright. But at times, people make copies of the licensed software. To prevent the illegal copying of software, policy should be developed that illegal copying of software by employees would be punishable. Moreover, employees should not be allowed to take software disks out of the premises of the organization. Destruction of data and software. Instead of stealing the data of software, a disgruntled employee might try to physically damage disks or tapes. Similarly, a hacker may try to erase programs or data electronically. Data and program destruction may also be caused by a computer program called virus. A virus is created by a hacker who puts the virus on floppy disk or on a hard disk of a computer used by several people. When these viruses are activated, they destroy programs and data. To prevent data and program theft, backup copies should be made of all data and programs. These backup copies must be stored in a fireproof vault at a location away from the organization. To prevent destruction of programs and viruses, it should be ensured that disk is not copied from an unreliable source. Antivirus software can be used to search disks for the presence of viruses. Theft of mainframe computer time. Another type of computer fraud is the theft of mainframe computer time. Employees may use the computer system for their personal purposes, for example, sending personal email. This can be prevented by tracking the activities of the users. The computer frauds can be grouped as follows. Theft of information as a consequence of unauthorized access, masquerade, eavesdropping, unauthorized use of resources as a consequence of unauthorized access, masquerade, modification of information, replay, reroute, misroute messages, theft of services as a consequence of unauthorized access, masquerade, modification of information, repudiation, replay attack, reroute, misroute, delete messages, denial of services as a consequence of unauthorized access, masquerade, reroute, misroute, delete messages, network flooding, corruption of resource management information. Computer abuse. In this video, we are going to see about computer abuse. Computer abuse is the unauthorized use of or access to a computer for purposes contrary to the wishes of the owner of the computer. Examples for computer abuse: unauthorized disclosure of confidential information, unavailability of key IT systems, unauthorized modification of IT systems, theft of IT hardware and software, theft of IT data files, use of IT resource for personal use. Methods for thwarting computer abuse: enlist top management support, increase employee awareness and education, conduct security inventory and protect password, implement controls, identify computer criminals, look at technical backgrounds, morals, and gender and age, recognize the symptoms of employee fraud, internal control weaknesses, according irregularities such as forged, altered, or destroyed input documents, behavioral or lifestyle changes in an employee, unreasonable anomalies that go unchallenged, employ forensic accountants. Preventing computer frauds. In this video, we are going to see about preventing computer frauds. Preventing computer frauds. As the IT infrastructure resources are more vulnerable to security risks, it is very essential for any organization to take adequate security measures to prevent computer frauds. The following security measures can substantially decrease the potential for fraud and the resulting losses, if any. Build the system correctly in the first place. Train users about security issues. After the system is in operation, maintain physical security. Unauthorized access to computers, networks, and data should be prevented. Ensure that transactions are correctly performed. Efficient and effective operation should be motivated. Various ways should be developed to improve the operation. System should be audited to identify problems. Prepare for disaster. But none of these measures is foolproof because many problems cannot be foreseen. However, consistent and thorough attention to the security and control reduces the likelihood of computer frauds. Security training to employees. Computer frauds cannot be prevented without training employees regarding security practices. Complacency, carelessness, and lack of awareness increases the likelihood of computer frauds. Security may be enhanced by training of employees with regard to security. For new employees, access to the computer system might be within a limit till training is completed. Some of the issues that must be addressed during training are: users should be trained to be aware of security concerns and to understand how these concerns are related to rules and procedures. Every employee who uses a computer or is at all involved with transaction processing should be familiar with the security issues. Users should be trained to be aware of some of the signs of suspicious activities and the procedures for reporting that activity. Training should be used to reinforce the value of security consciousness in all employees. Training and awareness programs should stress the individual employee's responsibility for information security, proper use of sensitive information, and procedures for reporting potential violations. Training should cover the following issues: the organization's data backup policies, the type of data that should be encrypted, how the data encryption keys are managed, what type of data may be shared with colleagues, what types of data are available to the public. Employees should be informed of the consequence of unethical behavior. Employees should be educated in security issues. Employees should be taught not to give confidential information over the telephone without establishing authenticity of the caller. Awareness of the employee's own security responsibilities as well as those of his co-workers. Ethical consideration. The problem of unethical behavior results not from lack of honesty and integrity, but from ignorance of what constitutes an ethical act. Professional standard of conduct makes the employees aware of how to act to promote professionalism. Code of ethics does not substantially change a dishonest person, but code of ethics creates a fear in the person that unethical behavior will be punished. The objective of the codes is to make the people aware of the do's and don'ts rather than to monitor and punish violators. Ensuring system quality. In this video, we are going to see about ensuring system quality. As companies increasingly rely on digital networks for revenue and operations, they need to take additional steps to ensure that their systems and applications are always available. Firms such as those in the airline and financial services industries with critical applications requiring online transaction processing have traditionally used fault-tolerant computer systems for many years to ensure 100% availability. In online transaction processing, transactions entered online are immediately processed by the computer. Multitudinous changes to databases, reporting and requests for information occur each instant. Fault-tolerant computer systems contain redundant hardware, software, and power supply components that create an environment that provides continuous, uninterrupted service. Fault-tolerant computers use special software routines or self-checking logic built into their circuitry to detect hardware failures and automatically switch to backup device. Parts from these computers can be removed and repaired without disruption to the computer system. Fault tolerance should be distinguished from high availability computing. Both fault tolerance and high availability computing try to minimize downtime. Downtime refers to periods of time in which a system is not operational. However, high availability computing helps firms recover quickly from a system crash, whereas fault tolerance promises continuous availability and the elimination of recovery time altogether. High availability computing environments are a minimum requirement for firms with heavy e-commerce processing or for firms that depend on digital networks for their internal operations. High availability computing requires backup servers, distribution of processing across multiple servers, high capacity storage, and good disaster recovery and business continuity plans. The firm's computing platform must be extremely robust with scalable processing power, storage, and bandwidth. Researchers are exploring ways to make computing systems recover even more rapidly when mishaps occur, an approach called recovery-oriented computing. This work includes designing systems that recover quickly, implementing capabilities and tools to help operators pinpoint the sources of faults in multi-component systems and easily correct their mistakes. Information security. In this video, we are going to see about what is information security. Information security, that is IS, is the process of protecting the user information from the unauthorized access, modification, disclosure, inspection, recording, or destruction. It is the process of safeguarding an organization's data from unauthorized access or modification to ensure its availability, confidentiality, and integrity. For example, a message could be modified during transmission by someone intercepting it before it reaches the intended recipient. Good cryptography tools can help to moderate this security threat. Information security is designed to protect the confidentiality, integrity, and availability of computer system data from those with malicious intentions. Digital signatures can improve information security by enhancing authenticity processes and prompting individuals to prove their identity before they can gain access to computer data. Two major aspects of information security are IT security. It is also called as computer security. It is applied for protecting all the company technology from the malicious cyber attacks which attempts to break into the private information of the company. Information assurance. It ensures that the data is not lost in case of any critical issues except the occurrence of natural disasters, physical theft, etc. occurs. Need for information security. Although all the assets of an organization are subject to loss, damage, and destruction from various causes, information systems tend to be particularly susceptible to these dangers for several reasons, such as the components of information system are comparatively more fragile. Computer hardware can be damaged more easily. Data files are also extremely fragile compared with most other assets of the organization. Computer systems are likely to be the targets of workers, protesters, and even criminals. Decentralization of facilities and the use of distributed processing have increased the difficulty of protecting information and computers. The failure of security of information system may cause financial losses or intangible losses. Unauthorized disclosure of sensitive information is an intangible loss. Threats to information system may come from internal or external sources in the form of intentional or accidental threats. Knowing about major potential threats to information systems is important, but understanding ways to defend against these threats is also critical. Security of information system is not a simple or inexpensive task because of the following reasons. Numerous potential threats exist. Decentralization of facilities and use of distributed processing. Many individuals control information systems. Computer networks may be outside the organization and difficult to protect. Rapid technological changes make some controls obsolete as soon as they are installed. Many computer crimes may go undetected for a long period of time, so it is difficult to learn from experience. People tend to violate security procedures because the procedures may be inconvenient. Punishment for computer crimes is not enough to deter them from committing crimes in future. With the advent of internet, many computer crimes can be committed from any part of the globe without computer knowledge. Information security involves cost. It is difficult to conduct a cost-benefit justification for controls before an attack occurs, since it is difficult to assess the risk of hypothetical attack. Therefore, most organizations simply cannot afford to protect against all possible hazards. Contents of Information Security Plan. In this video, we are going to see about Contents of Information Security Plan. Contents of Information Security Plan. When planning for system security, the following basic elements of security must be considered and included in the security plan. Information integrity, access control or authorization, confidentiality, authentication, non-repudiation, availability. Information integrity. Integrity protects data from corruptions. Integrity is concerned with the reliability, accuracy, and management of data. Access control or authorization provides a means of enforcing authorization to use system resources. Confidentiality ensures that a user or process other than those that are authorized cannot access information. Authentication, a method of uniquely identifying a user, machine, or application and verifying its identity, includes a clearly stated policy on passwords. Non-repudiation, the ability to prevent denial that a message has been sent or received or an action taken. The message or action could only have been produced by the sender. availability, continuity, durability, recovery, and consistency of data. Principles of information security. In this video, we are going to see about principles of information security. Achieving security objectives of information system is a challenging task for any organization. The first step in this endeavor is to evaluate the organization's current exposure and decide the steps to be taken. Making a decision as to which solution will work well can be the most difficult part of the process of securing information systems. To search for the best controls for a specific organization, an understanding of principles of information security often helps to achieve security. The core principles of information security are accountability, awareness, multidisciplinary security controls, cost effectiveness, integration, reassessment, timeliness, societal factors. Accountability. It is the process of holding responsible that is accountable for something that is data. In accountability, an individual is connected to an action. Information security requires an explicit and timely allotment of responsibility and accountability among data owners, process owners, technology providers, and users. Effective accountability relies upon the capability to prove the above class of owners and track their activities. Thus, accountability builds on the concepts of identification, authentication, authorization, access control, and auditing. In this context, accountability is possible if the owner's identity and actions can be tracked and verified. Thus, security can be maintained only if accountability is formalized and communicated. Issues relating to accountability include the following: explicit specification of data and information ownership. A user who accesses the system providing a username, a logon ID, a personal identification number that is PIN for identification so that accountability is initiated. Accountability is maintained by recording the activities of a user and the core system functions that maintain the operating environment and the security mechanism. Creating audit trails by recording system events such as logs can be used to evaluate the health and performance of a system. Assignment of responsibility for maintenance of data and information because faulty programs, corrupt drivers, or intrusion attempt may lead to system crash. Discover the reasons for system failure. Remedial procedures must be installed when a security breach attempt occurs. Generally, log files provide an audit trail for recreating the history of an event intrusion or system failure. Awareness. Awareness refers to a form of security teaching that is prerequisite to training. The goal of awareness is to bring security into the system forefront and make it a recognized entity for users. There are many tools that can be used to create awareness such as posters, notices, newsletters, articles, presentations, reminders, etc. Awareness focuses on key issues related to security of all classes of employees. It fosters confidence in data owners, technology providers, users, and other parties. The awareness addresses following issues that includes avoid waste, fraud, and unauthorized activities. All members of an organization from senior management to temporary employees need the same level of awareness. Awareness program in an organization should include incident handling plan and disaster recovery procedure. Build an effective awareness program. It must be creative and updated often. Recognize the need of security awareness and make it a part of corporate culture. Multidisciplinary security controls. Security management is a process, not just technology. Security must be addressed taking into consideration preventive, detective, and corrective security issues. Security measures cover organizational, administrative, logical or technical, physical controls. Above all, security can be governed by enforcing legal infrastructure. Technological controls must be developed as per the analysis of the requirement of the organization. It must follow the norms laid down by the legal and legislative authorities. Employees of the organization must be provided with awareness, education, and training of technical controls. Therefore, in order to administer technical and non-technological controls, following issues must be addressed. These are: recognize information as an asset, perform the risk analysis, which includes the evaluation of business value of the information asset, analyze the probability of threats that might occur, technologies those are available to meet the security objectives, framing a security policy that states the duty and responsibility of each employee in an organization, analyze the legal framework that supports to achieve the security objectives, also analyze industry norms, analyze the advanced security techniques available to meet the security objective, cost effectiveness. Although there are different approaches to risk determination, but quantitative approach scores over descriptive and non-quantitative methods. Among many possible quantitative methods, one that is diffusible is to compare the cost of preventing a loss or damage to the cost resulting from the loss. Thus, if cost preventing the loss exceeds the burden of avoiding such loss, avoidance measures should not be implemented. The cost-effective security must address the following: analyze the importance of information asset to an organization, quantify the business value of the information asset based on predefined level of confidentiality, analyze the possible threats to information assets, including the probability of occurrence of such threats, threats which are most likely to occur, the impact on business should the threat be realized, implementation of safeguards that will minimize or eliminate the threats, including the cost of implementing safeguards, evaluation of cost and benefits of incremental increase to the level of security, evaluate and compare the cost of implementing a safeguard and the total impact of a specific loss if breach occurs, analyze the benefit of adopting minimum safeguards as a cost-effective alternative to balance costs and risks, integration. Security policies, practices, and procedures should be coordinated and integrated with each other. Security measures can be developed and designed in-house or outsourced from a third trusted party. This requires information gathering, recording, storing, sharing, transmitting, retrieving, and deletion of information. However, prior to this exercise, the security requirements should be analyzed in each phase of information processing. The issues that require special attention are: security policy should be considered as an integral part of security risk management process. Overall security framework must be consistent with new as well as incremented security systems while securing information. Review of interrelated systems to ensure that the level of security is compatible. Risk involved in outsourcing the security solutions. Reassessment. Risk in computer-based information system is so dynamic and unpredictable in nature that there is a need to continually assess the security infrastructure. Security requirements also keep changing over time. Issues which need to be addressed in this regard are: in order to attain business continuity, security infrastructure must be assessed periodically. Security drill practice must be performed on regular intervals to ensure whether the security procedures are in place or not. Change in information system requires changes in security requirements. Threats are always dynamic and unpredictable in nature, thus security of information system requires installation of better safeguards. New emerging security solutions, that is technologies, prove to be cost-effective safeguards than earlier ones. Varying organization structures have different business focus, requiring regulatory framework in securing the information system. Timeliness. Timeliness is important in implementing security practices and procedures in securing information system in the process of risk management. The increasingly interconnected real-time transborder nature of information is more prone to damage. For this, organizations need to react swiftly. Thus, security procedures must possess the characteristics of timeliness and must also be provided with monitoring feature. The other important issues which need to be addressed in security of information are: the business transactions which are instantaneous and irrevocable in nature, increased volume of information processing from interconnected and complex information system, automated tools to support real-time online information processing and monitoring, appropriate decision-making in case of security breach, societal factor. It may happen that an unknown person skillfully gains the trust of someone in organization and encourages him to make change to IT system in order to gain access. Because of this, several organizations have recognized the need of standard ethics rules which lay down the standards for professional behavior. It includes the following aspects to be focused on: ethical use and disclosure of data or information obtained from others, fair presentation of data or information to the user, data which is no longer required should be destroyed securely, strict adherence to the code of conduct must be conveyed to all class of users. If anyone is found guilty, he will be punished as per jurisdiction of cyber laws. However, enforcement agencies need to be given a review. Best approach to implement information security. In this video, we are going to see about best approach to implement information security. It is well established fact that the information essential to an organization should be protected in the same way as the financial assets of the organization are protected. Unlike protecting financial assets, which have regulations to support their protection, the protection of information is often left to the individual employee. As with protecting financial assets, everyone knows what the solutions are to protect information resources. However, identifying those requirements is not good enough. In order to ensure controls, it is necessary to have a formal written policy that can be used as a basis for all standards and procedures. Security of information is accomplished by inserting controls. Controls are designed to protect all the components of an information system, specifically data, software, hardware, and networks. These controls can be integrated into hardware and software during the system development phase, or they can be implemented after the system is operational or during its maintenance. Since there are many threats, there are also many defense mechanisms.